You have some fascinating new reporting about Mark Meadows, Donald Trump's former chief of staff, also one of the founding members of the House Freedom Caucus, still in touch, still advising a number of the hardline conservatives. And just a reminder for anyone who might forget Mark Meadows and what he looks like, this is Mark Meadows on Newsmax Monday night.
The famous line is, eventually you run out of other people's money.
Exactly.
Well, we're at that point. They may have made progress today at the White House with Speaker McCarthy and Joe Biden. I'm telling you, I think Doug will agree, that's happy talk. They're not making progress because they want to spend your money.
Explain why this matters. That Mark Meadows is kind of like, pay no attention to the man behind the curtain. But he's talking to these hardline conservatives who keep telling McCarthy, don't give up much, or else we will not back you.
Right. I mean, anyone who covered Mark Meadows when he was in Congress, Phil Downing know very well, this is very on brand for Mark Meadows. He spent years agitating against leadership, trying to undermine leadership, including Kevin McCarthy. And we have found that over the last year, even though he's faded from the public spotlight, he is very much working behind the scenes to try to wield influence in Washington, especially now that Republicans have control of the House. The speaker's race was another example. He was actually advising the Freedom Caucus about what specific demands to make, gaming out how McCarthy would act, advising them about how to use their leverage. And now he's doing the same thing in the debt ceiling fight. And I mean, it matters for a couple of reasons. Number one, obviously, it could impact how these negotiations play out when you have the hard right trying to influence and exert their leverage. But number two, it's interesting because Mark Meadows is arguably one of the most important witnesses when it comes to January 6th and Trump's efforts to overturn the 2020 election. And there are signs that the special investigation is concluding. And so there's a lot of anticipation and speculation about whether Mark Meadows is cooperating. And even Trump's legal team is in the dark about whether or not he is cooperating, which has annoyed them. But it is interesting to see him trying to politically stay relevant while he's also maneuvering with these legal investigations.
Such amazing reporting, particularly for those of us who covered Mark Meadows, the Freedom Caucus chair, not Mark Meadows, the White House chief of staff under Donald Trump, because that was the guy who made John Boehner's life a living hell.
Paul Ryan's.
Paul Ryan's life a living hell. But such a different message when he was Donald Trump's chief of staff, because Donald Trump was not afraid to spend a lot of money, a lot of taxpayer dollars, like a lot of it. And so I think you're right to sort of be looking at and questioning whether or not his separation from Donald Trump on the fiscal matters might be an indicator about whether he's separating from him on legal matters.
But so connect the dots in the sense, if Meadows has an audience, whether it's 5, whether it's 10, maybe it's 20, maybe it's as many as 40, if you're talking about the Freedom Caucus, for members saying, here's where you should hold the line, and Kevin McCarthy is saying the White House has to cut. Phil says they put a freeze on the table and thought, if we do a freeze, maybe we give them a little bit of the work requirement thing they want. We should be able to get a deal. The question is, can Kevin McCarthy cut it? Or what happens if he does? This is Ralph Norman, who, again, go back to the 15 ballots, was one of the holdouts. We talked to Meadows about being speaker. This is from Mel's reporting. We asked, would he mind if we put his name up? That's not something he thought he could win. His best use is being what he does now. He can freelance and offer advice. It's just a reminder that, again, at any moment, one person can challenge Kevin McCarthy. So if he cuts a deal with Biden, and they get the Democrats and centrist Republicans to pass the bill, Kevin McCarthy could say, wow, I avoided a default. And then what? Within 48 hours could have his speakership challenged, potentially.
Could. And I think that's the ramifications. We talk a lot about the people and the players, and people at home don't necessarily know, if Mark Meadows walked past them, they might not know who he is. But we have these individuals, these very small number of individuals are really the ones kind of holding up this debt ceiling discussion. But my question is, what is the end game? We have people at home who are worried about their Social Security checks. They're worried about what this will mean to their own finances, and there's no clear end game. We know Mark Meadows is seizing the power and advising the far-right members, but what do they actually want?
I think that's a great question in the context also what the president wants, very different from what a conservative House member who goes home to a safe district might want, to a liberal Democrat who goes home who doesn't want president to agree to anything the Republicans want. That's complicated.